You ever see something so good that you just wanna quit everything and fucking die? Fog Hill of the Five Elements was created and directed by Hun Lin and released by his studio Samsara in 2020. And good lord, my guy, you and your team of 6 God-tier artists did not have to go this hard, but I am eternally grateful you did. This has got to be the most beautiful production pipeline I have ever seen. It is an independent passion project of the highest magnitude, and unlike anything you'll ever see in mainstream animation. Artistry this explosive and storytelling this compact just demands to be witnessed. It's overflowing with creativity and parades itself with an unbridled confidence and titanic amounts of hype. And I mean hype. I'm talking like if Jujutsu Kaisen and Solo Leveling had a one-night stand, Fog Hill would be their glorious Olympian love child. Oh, and with the beautiful background work of Valley of White Birds. Yeah, good shit. I'll let you know when I'm going into spoiler territory, but so far there are only 3 episodes out and they're all under a half hour, and let's be honest, you probably already saw it. Still, there is a link to episode 1 in the description. I cannot recommend this enough. The story begins right in the middle of some shit about to go down. We are introduced to our protagonist, Shuin, who has unlocked the giant seal to the demon realm. Why? Well, he seeks something that belongs to the Demon Lord, and after a good old-fashioned anime battle with said Demon Lord, his infant son escapes into the misty forest, and thus greatly angers the beast. The demon captures Shuin's mother and the water element's sister, and drags them into his dark dimension. He parts with Shuin, saying to return his son, and he'll return his loved ones. Fog Hill starts things off with the biggest of bangs, letting us know what exactly to expect from this show. Mystical creatures, himbos, a beautiful traditional animation style, and high-octane elemental action. And it only gets better from here. 'Cause next we got the theme song. And guess what? It fucking slaps! And the visuals are absolute eye candy. Part of this was done using the paint and water technique to create the effect of warping skies appearing out of thin air. And be honest, have you seen shit like that done before in a title sequence? Well, maybe. I don't know, maybe you have, but I haven't, and it looks amazing. Anyway, yeah, this theme song is a goddamn bop. It looks amazing. Check it out. We then cut to a scenic village atop Fog Hill. We meet a young girl named Xiao An and her hierarchy of uncles. She's tasked with getting medicinal herbs from the Shrouded Mountain by her dad, and along her way, she encounters 3 not suspicious looking at all travelers that are looking for her very village. She frantically and rather humorously gives them directions and makes her getaway. But then she gets spooked again by a duck, who leads her to a scenic pond, where our Dream Pie main character is having a luxurious bath. They get acquainted as Shuin offers to help Xiaoan get the supplies she needs. While on their hike, Xiaoan inquires about the mystery that engulfs the Shrouded Mountain. Shuin begins to tell the ancient history of this valley. Long ago, vicious demons roamed the mountain valley feasting on humans. But one day, from the clouds above, the 5 elemental aspects rained down their wrath on the demons, giving the humans salvation. The aspects of fire, water, wood, air, and metal created the gargantuan seal we saw in the beginning to keep the Demon Lord and his underlings locked away forever. And ever since then, there was peace in the Foggy Hills. So why did Shuin open the seal in the first scene? Well, you see, this was long ago, and he was hoping to save his mother, that's her, by assumedly using the Demon Lord's power, but obviously that didn't work out, and now not only is the Demon Lord's infant son on the loose and Shuin's mother is now a permanent prisoner of his, but he's had to live the rest of his life with this awful mistake. Meanwhile, back at the village, those three not suspicious travelers arrive at the Fog Hill Bridge with a few casualties already made. Xiaoan's uncles try to hold off these assassins as best they can, but it's evident that the strangers far outclass these martial arts masters. But thankfully, Shuin comes around in the nick of time to turn the tide of the fight. Through his fire blast, he reveals their true forms to be dreaded peacock demons. I love this bit where they all repeat, "He's the fire aspect of the Shrouded Mountain." And from there, it's action, action, action. And what's great about Fog Hill's narrative is that it's so simple and easy to grasp that most of the time, the immediate story is just a literal battlefield for some of the most creative and bombastic fight scenes I've ever seen in animation. You get the backstory of this world pretty quick into the first episode, and while it's definitely not the most original or mind-blowing lore, it doesn't need to be, because complicating the story would take away from the sheer beauty and spectacle it's obviously trying to convey. The fights are quick, impactful, expressive, jagged, fluid, messy, and smudgy all at once, and yet it never feels too cartoony and doesn't lack cohesion. Every batch of erratic frames are punctuated with tight, slow-in drawings and moving holds that really sell the force of each strike. The line work on the character animation brilliantly complements the painterly ink brush feel the show is going for, making the whole series look as if it's taking place on a canvas. And damn it all, it's just so satisfying to see characters and set pieces that you know were all painstakingly hand-drawn. And not to mention the special effects. Oh, sweet fountains of Wayne, the elemental magic here is just mind-boggling. It's a festival of colors. There's a general rule of thumb when it comes to FX that you start off small, quickly build to a crescendo of force and energy, and slowly disperse. Obviously, you can lengthen and distort each and any portion of that. It's animation, you can do whatever the hell you want. And Fog Hill turns that formula into a Fantasia-level dance choreography. The elements are the star of the show. They direct your eyes across the screen and carry most of the intensity of the fights. This makes the elements a character in their own right. But don't go thinking the actual characters are just one-dimensional action figures to bash into each other for 30 minutes. They are actually quite the charming cast. Like I said earlier, the main character Shuin makes a foolish mistake that costs him his mother and the sister of the water aspect, Shen Yi. And Shuin reminds himself of this painful memory by marking gouges into the ceramic medicine pots he made at the shop he works at. It immediately makes us sympathize with him because despite this tragedy he's responsible for, he still tries to keep a laid-back and friendly facade, and he helps out random commoners when he can. As the years went on, he's matured tremendously in a short amount of screen time. Also, he's very attractive. Xiaoan initially works well as a self-insert for the audience, when she's not being the object of her creepy uncle's libido. But what I didn't expect was how much she made me genuinely laugh. Her gallery of facial expressions kill me. And as such, she offers great levity amidst the intense subject matter this show depicts. And in order for me to talk about the rest of the characters and story, I'm gonna have to go into some heavy spoilers. Okay, you ready? Because the duck can fucking talk! And then he gets slapped into a lake, hey! Okay, so at the beginning of episode 2, we are introduced to a young boy named Yu Dan, the child of Xiaoan's sixth uncle. the pervert. He keeps a watch out for his brother Yu Qing, whom both of which have a strong bond with one another. They play around for a bit before they are interrupted by the carnage taking place at the bridge. While Shuin holds off the peacock demon with all of his strength, the rest of the village falls into panic as they don't know what to do to evade this monster. Soon enough, though, the peacock infiltrates the civilian area, and everyone is stunned in terror. The demon taunts Xiaoan's father before unleashing a toxic fume that transforms the majority of the villagers into feral, flesh-hungry demons themselves. Then, the demon extracts the souls of the unafflicted villagers and uses that power to morph into his final, much more sexy form. From there, it becomes quite the trauma-bombing horror show in the second episode. We see tons of people plunged into grief, having to witness the sudden murder of their loved ones, and the animation on their mortified faces is really unsettling. We get to see firsthand the hell the humans had to live through before the aspects sealed off the demons in their own dimension, and it goes without saying how truly ruthless it all is. But it gets even worse when Yu Dan's father starts transforming into a demon and tries to resist it, but in his feral state, he lays waste to several innocent people, all before holding up one of his own sons at claw point. Right then and there, Yu Dan notices this and naively believes he can stop it. He runs to aid his brother, only to meet a grisly death. The demon uncle and his eldest son look at this sight in absolute dread, and in an agonizing display of desperation, he begs his son to kill him. Yu Qing obliges with a finishing blow on his afflicted dad, and rushes to console his dying little brother with some spare fruit from his pocket, and then he finally passes. The animation, voice acting, and music all work in tandem to create one of the most horrific and emotional moments in the show. It's honestly hard to watch, even after all the times I've viewed it. For me, and this may sound incredibly cringe, this scene ranks up there with some of the most gut-wrenching scenes in anime. The Chimera Dog from FMA, the fingernail scene from Higurashi, this... And that's only from a few scarce minutes of screen time with these characters. That's how airtight this writing is. All you need are a few solid moments to establish and make us empathize with the characters and their situation. It humanizes this village so quickly in such short moments, and when that wholesomeness and tranquility is robbed so callously, you feel the impact like a punch to your sternum. And if you can believe it, it still gets better from there. Because next, we have the conclusion of Shuin and the Peacock Demon's epic battle. Now, originally, I had a whole section of dialogue planned out explaining in great detail why this scene is awesome, but really it can just be boiled down to... This is the coolest shit I've ever fucking seen in my life! Oh my god! And look, he takes a rock and he fucking pounds him completely. Oh, Jesus! Look at this! Look at this! Fucking kill him! After Shuin wipes his ass with the peacock hints at a dark truth that Shuin was unaware of. He walks into the nearby apothecary to discover what became of the demon lord's son. The villagers had caged and essentially tortured him after he escaped all those years ago. Shuin becomes enraged that he just fought to protect a village that was keeping an innocent creature hostage. The very innocent creature he allowed to escape. The very innocent creature that if he hadn't let escape, then these demons wouldn't have been sent to retrieve it. All of this death, all of this suffering, all because of his mistake. Further adding to his already heavy guilt, he leaves with the son of the demon lord, shunning the village for its savagery, bringing this episode to a cold and tragic end. Bloody amazing character work. Hun Lin, I am proposing. Hello, I'm your long-lost father. Alright, we're gonna breeze right through episode 3 because it's a pretty short and sweet 15 minutes. The third episode starts with a backstory of a plague that ravaged the village when Xiao-An was a child. While looking for a cure, Xiao-An and her party discovered the Demon Lord's son on a cliffside. We learn later from her father that very son of the Demon Lord lost a scale which fell into a well. And once the villagers drank the water from that well, they were miraculously cured. So they kept the demon son in the apothecary to extract cures for any illnesses, which would explain why Shuin wanted to use that same power to help his sick mother. Ah, you see? You see how fucking good this is? It slowly but naturally ties every loose end it sets up. Good shit. After the night of the battle, half of the village is dead and everything is in disarray. Xiao-An's father grieves the loss of his brother and the lives of other innocents that were lost. Soon, the mountain elders arrive at the scene to dispose of the demon's carcass and vow to help the villagers from any more potential demon attacks. They are also made aware of Shuin stealing the demon son, which, as you can imagine, they're not too happy about. While that's going on, Yu Qing is back at his homestead mourning the death of Yu Dan and his father, and the kids that were stealing food from Yu Dan in the episode prior come to Yu Qing offering him food before scurrying off. It's really nice. Looks like someone has some motivation for episode 4, eh? Meanwhile, in the demon realm, a messenger demon in the form of the peacock's feather informs the beasts that the siege on Fog Hill was a failure, and in their rage, they send a homing beacon signaling a war is coming, which alerts all the aspects of their foreboding attack, complemented by some amazingly badass shots of all the aspects looking off into the distance, with some killer fucking orchestral music. Did I mention that I love all of this? So that was Fog Hill of the Five Elements, aka the best goddamn Donghua of all time. And I can't tell you how excited I am for episode 4. I couldn't have more faith in this team to bring us the same beauty, exhilaration, and solid narrative payoffs they've consistently delivered. These 3 short episodes have some of the most tightly woven storytelling that can dwarf a good majority of shonen animes, as well as some of the most intriguing character work with its protagonist, and hands down, the best hand-drawn fight choreography and visual style in general. It is art of the purest caliber, and commands your attention until the end credits roll. It's an obvious 10 out of 10. Now, I demand a Legend of Hay crossover. Thanks for watching. This video was sponsored by The Past.